My beloved child. Stop scrolling for a moment, because this message has reached you for a reason. Something was spoken about your body when you were not in the room, and heaven heard every word. You did not hear it with your ears, but your soul felt the sting before your mind could understand why your energy suddenly changed. That heaviness you carried today was not random. That sudden silence inside you, that strange urge to look at yourself differently, that quiet question rising in your chest, am I enough? It did not begin with you. Someone released words into the air, and those words tried to find a place inside your confidence. But listen to me now. They failed. They tried to turn your body into a conversation, but heaven turned that conversation into evidence. Evidence of envy. Evidence of hidden bitterness. Evidence that your presence is affecting people more deeply than they are willing to admit. My beloved child, your body is not a mistake. Your shape is not shame. Your face is not something to apologize for. Your height, your weight, your skin, your scars, your softness, your strength, your features, your age, your natural changes, your tired eyes, your healing body, none of these were created for the approval of people who do not even love themselves properly. And yet, there is someone who has been speaking as if they have authority over what God formed. They looked at you, but they did not see you. They saw the light around you and became uncomfortable. They saw how you still carry beauty even after betrayal, pressure, stress, loneliness, and silent battles. They saw how you still walk with something magnetic, something they cannot copy, something that does not come from clothes, filters, makeup, money, or attention. So they chose the weakest weapon. They chose your body. They told someone you look like a joke. They tried to make others laugh. They tried to plant an image of you in someone else's mind before that person could see your truth with clean eyes. They wanted your name attached to mockery. They wanted your appearance to become a whisper. But child, what they did not know is this: the same mouth that mocked you exposed the wound they carry inside themselves. Because people who are whole do not need to tear apart another person's reflection. People who are healed do not gather an audience around someone else's body. People who are truly confident do not study another person so closely just to insult them. They were watching you longer than they admitted. That is the first revelation. They noticed details about you because your presence held their attention. They pretended disgust, but beneath it was obsession. They pretended superiority, but beneath it was comparison. They pretended laughter, but beneath it was fear, fear that you are becoming someone they cannot control, cannot reduce, cannot overshadow. And heaven is saying, do not shrink because someone with a wounded spirit tried to measure you with a broken ruler. There is a deeper reason this happened now. This was not only about appearance. This was about timing. You were beginning to rise again. Slowly, quietly, maybe without telling anyone, you were starting to feel something return to you. A little confidence. A little hope. A little softness toward yourself. You were starting to imagine being seen, loved, chosen, admired, respected. You were beginning to believe that maybe the season of hiding was ending. And right when your spirit began opening again, that voice came against you. That is not coincidence. Sometimes the attack comes against the exact place where restoration has already started. They mocked your body because your body is connected to your visibility. They wanted you to hide again. They wanted you to cover yourself emotionally. They wanted you to walk into rooms with your head lowered. They wanted you to think twice before posting, dressing, smiling, speaking, loving, receiving attention, or allowing someone good to come close. But heaven is interrupting the lie before it settles. You are not what they said. You are not what insecurity translated you into. You are not the cruel sentence that left their mouth. You are my creation, still becoming, still healing, still sacred. And there is something they do not know. Someone who heard what they said did not agree the way they hoped. Someone became quiet. Someone listened, but their spirit rejected it. They may not have defended you loudly in that moment, but inside, something changed. The person speaking against you revealed themselves. Their ugliness became louder than anything they tried to say about your appearance. And the one listening began to wonder, why are they so focused on them? That question opened a door. Because when people attack you without reason, they often accidentally draw more attention to your light. The person they tried to influence is now thinking about you more, not less. They are remembering your eyes, your energy, your voice, the way you carry pain without becoming cruel, the way you keep going, the way you look different when you are not trying to impress anyone. The way something about you feels real in a world full of performance. And child, this is where heaven wants you to lean closer. The insult was meant to bury your confidence, but it has awakened someone's curiosity. The very conversation meant to make you look small has made another person see you more clearly. Because your beauty is not only physical. It is spiritual weight. It is emotional depth. It is survival wrapped in softness. It is the glow of someone who has cried and still chosen kindness. It is the mystery of a person who has been underestimated but not erased. They can criticize your body, but they cannot explain your presence. They can laugh at your appearance, but they cannot steal the atmosphere you carry. They can try to reduce you to one feature, one angle, one moment, one insecurity, but heaven sees the full masterpiece. And soon, someone else will too. But before that happens, my beloved child, you must pass this test without turning against yourself. Do not punish your body for someone else's poison. Do not stand in the mirror repeating words heaven never spoke. Do not become your own enemy because another person volunteered for that role. Your body has carried you through nights nobody knows about. It has held your tears. It has survived stress you never fully explained. It has woken up again and again even when your heart felt tired. It has taken you through heartbreak, fear, waiting, disappointment, and silent healing. Speak gently to it. Bless it. Stop treating it like it must earn love before it deserves peace. You are allowed to be seen now. You are allowed to be admired now. You are allowed to exist without constantly editing yourself for people who would still criticize you even if you became perfect. That person spoke because something about you disturbed the false throne they built in their mind. They needed you to feel less so they could feel more. But heaven is removing the power from their words tonight. And here is the part you must not miss. The insult they used was not random. It revealed the exact place where they thought you were most vulnerable. That means they have studied your silence. They have noticed where you hesitate. They have sensed what you try to hide. But heaven has also noticed. And what they thought was your weakness is about to become the place where you reclaim power. You are going to walk differently. Not because everyone approves of you, but because you finally understand that approval is too small a crown for a soul like yours. You were not born to be everyone's preference. You were born to be undeniable to the ones assigned to recognize you. And one of those people is already closer than you think. They heard something. They saw something. They felt something shift. And now, even if they are quiet, their spirit is comparing the cruelty of that voice with the truth of your presence. The enemy expected shame to follow you. But heaven sent revelation ahead of you. My beloved child, do not be surprised if soon someone looks at you differently. Softer. Longer. More deeply. As if they are seeing past what others tried to say. As if they are realizing that the person being mocked was actually the one carrying the most grace. Because the mouth that tried to disgrace you has accidentally prepared the stage for your vindication. And when the truth comes out fully, it will not only expose what they said. It will expose why they said it. That is where part 1 must pause, because the next revelation is heavier than you expect. The person who mocked your body was not only jealous of how you look. They were afraid of who was beginning to love you. My beloved child. Do not leave this message yet, because what is unfolding around you has gone much deeper than appearances. The surface of this story was never really about your body. That was only the disguise. That was only the doorway they used to hide what was truly happening underneath. What they feared was attachment. What they feared was connection. What they feared was that someone's attention was slowly moving away from them. And drifting toward you. Pause here for a moment and listen carefully, because your spirit already sensed this before your mind could explain it. There has been a strange tension around your name lately. Certain people react differently when you are mentioned. Some become too quiet. Some suddenly change the subject. Some laugh too loudly. Some try to act unbothered while secretly studying every detail connected to you. You thought maybe you imagined it. You did not. There is someone who cannot understand why your energy keeps pulling people inward. Even after everything you have been through. Even after the insecurities you privately fight. Even after the moments you doubted your own worth. Somehow your presence still lingers in people's hearts longer than expected. And this has disturbed someone deeply. Because they thought attraction only belonged to perfection. They built their confidence around appearances, attention, validation, and comparison. They believed whoever looked the best would always win love. Whoever fit the ideal image would automatically be chosen. Whoever appeared flawless would never have to fear replacement. Then you appeared. And suddenly the rules they trusted stopped working. Someone they wanted attention from started noticing you instead. Not necessarily loudly. Not necessarily publicly, but emotionally, spiritually, quietly. And sometimes the quietest shifts create the strongest jealousy. My beloved child, there is a person connected to this situation who has been trying to convince others that you are not attractive enough to be desired. But the harder they try, the more obvious their fear becomes. Because nobody spends that much energy attacking someone they truly feel superior to. Understand this clearly. Jealousy studies its target carefully. That person notices your body because they compare themselves to it in secret. They notice the way people look at you. They notice how certain rooms react when you enter. They notice the softness in someone's voice when your name appears unexpectedly. They notice things you yourself overlook. And what troubles them most is this. You do not even realize your own power yet. You walk around carrying beauty you barely acknowledge. You criticize features other people secretly admire. You apologize for things that make you unforgettable. You try to shrink qualities that heaven intentionally designed to stand out. Meanwhile, someone else has been silently memorizing those same qualities. There is a person, and this message is not reaching you by accident, who has defended you internally even if they did not defend you publicly yet. They heard the insults. They heard the comments. They heard the comparisons. But instead of agreeing, something inside them became protective. That surprised them. Because they did not expect to care. Yet the moment your name was mocked, their emotions shifted. And they have not fully understood why ever since. Stop scrolling mentally for a second and absorb this truth carefully. Sometimes people discover their feelings for you when they hear someone disrespect you. Because suddenly they feel anger they cannot explain. Suddenly they feel protective energy rise inside them. Suddenly they realize your pain matters to them more than it should. And that is exactly what is happening here. The person who insulted your body accidentally awakened emotional clarity inside someone else. Now that individual cannot stop thinking about you. Not only your appearance. Your soul. Your sadness. Your hidden strength. Your softness. Your eyes when you are pretending to be okay. The way you carry emotional exhaustion while still trying to make others comfortable. The way you laugh while secretly feeling disconnected inside. The way your body reflects survival, not weakness. Yes, child. Your body tells a story. Not the cruel story they tried to create. The real story. A story of endurance. A story of pressure. A story of resilience. A story of someone who kept living even when they felt unloved. Heaven sees how hard you have been on yourself lately. The mirror has not felt safe. Your confidence has been moving up and down like waves. Some days you feel strong. Other days one small comment destroys your peace for hours. Sometimes you compare yourself to strangers online and quietly wonder if you are falling behind some invisible standard. But my beloved child, your spirit was never designed to survive on comparison. Comparison is a prison where nobody wins. There will always be someone taller, thinner, thicker, younger, richer, more polished, more praised, more noticed by the crowd. But crowds are not the voice of heaven. Crowds once mocked miracles because they arrived in unexpected forms. And people are still doing it now. There are individuals who laugh at genuine beauty because genuine beauty exposes how artificial their own identity feels. The person speaking against your body does not feel peace within themselves. Their cruelty comes from war inside their own reflection. They wake up comparing. They sleep comparing. They measure their worth through competition. They panic whenever someone else shines naturally. That is why your existence unsettles them. Because your beauty is emotional before it is physical. Your energy reaches people before your appearance does. Your presence touches hearts before your body even enters the conversation. And that kind of beauty terrifies insecure souls. They can compete with makeup. They can compete with clothes. They can compete with attention. But they cannot compete with authenticity. And authenticity is exactly what heaven placed inside you. Do you know what else they fear? They fear the possibility that someone may choose you deeply. Not temporarily. Not casually. Not secretly. Fully. Because if that happens, it destroys the illusion they built around themselves. There is someone watching this entire situation unfold quietly. They are observing more than you realize. They are noticing who attacks you. They are noticing who becomes uncomfortable around your name. They are noticing who constantly tries to lower your value. And the more they observe, the more they begin seeing your heart clearly. This connection is growing in silence. That is why the attacks increased. Darkness often becomes louder right before emotional truth surfaces. The one speaking against you senses they are losing control of a narrative. They thought they could shape how others perceive you. They thought they could reduce you to insecurity before anyone looked deeper. But heaven keeps interrupting them. Every insult they speak somehow circles back and exposes them instead. People are beginning to notice the bitterness underneath their words. People are beginning to question why they care so much about your appearance. People are beginning to feel uncomfortable with how intensely they talk about you. And child, one particular person is becoming emotionally affected by this more than anyone realizes. This person keeps replaying your image in their mind. Not because you are flawless. Because you feel real. Your imperfections feel human to them. Comforting. Alive. Unlike the artificial masks they are used to seeing everywhere else. They remember small details about you unexpectedly. The shape of your smile when you are distracted. The tiredness in your eyes when you think nobody notices. The moments when you tried to appear confident but were secretly doubting yourself. And instead of pushing them away, those details pulled them closer. That is what the jealous person cannot understand. Real attraction deepens through emotional truth. Not perfection. Not performance. Not impossible standards. The one becoming drawn toward you feels something rare around your energy, honesty. Even your pain feels honest. Even your insecurities feel sincere. Even your body carries warmth they cannot explain. And while someone else mocks what heaven created, this person is slowly becoming emotionally attached to the very things you criticize about yourself. There is something extraordinary happening beneath the surface now. A shift. A reversal. An exposure. Because the words meant to humiliate you are turning into the reason someone is beginning to defend you emotionally. At first they only noticed the unfairness. Then they noticed your value. Now they are noticing their feelings. That realization frightened them at first. Because they were not planning this. They did not expect your presence to stay in their mind this long. They did not expect to feel protective. They did not expect your pain to matter emotionally. But every attempt to make you look less desirable somehow made you more unforgettable to them. And heaven is saying this carefully tonight. Do not mistake temporary cruelty for your permanent identity. The opinions spoken over your body are not prophecies. They are projections. The people attacking you are revealing themselves, not defining you. And soon you will understand why this season had to happen before your next emotional chapter begins. Because if you had entered the next connection still depending on external validation, you would have abandoned yourself trying to keep love. So heaven is teaching you now. Teaching you to stand inside your own worth before deeper love arrives. Teaching you to stop measuring your value through random opinions. Teaching you to stop giving insecure people authority over your self-image. Teaching you that confidence is not believing everyone will find you beautiful. Confidence is knowing cruelty cannot cancel what God created. My beloved child, there are moments coming very soon where your confidence will begin returning unexpectedly. You will notice yourself caring less about certain opinions. You will feel lighter in your body again. You will start reconnecting with parts of yourself you abandoned. And someone will notice that shift immediately. The person secretly becoming attached to you is watching your energy more than your appearance now. That is why the jealous individual is panicking. Because they can no longer control the direction this emotional current is moving. They feel it slipping. They feel attention shifting. They feel emotional distance growing between themselves and the person they wanted validation from. And instead of accepting it gracefully, they are becoming more desperate. That desperation is dangerous because it pushes people into revealing their true character publicly. Which means another moment is approaching. A moment where something will be said too openly. A moment where someone listening will finally speak up. A moment where the cruelty hidden behind jokes will no longer remain hidden. And when that happens, the person quietly developing feelings for you will reveal far more emotion than anyone expects. Including themselves. Because they are reaching the point where silence is starting to hurt them more than honesty. And child, the next thing heaven is about to reveal will explain why this entire situation